Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame.
Yugi peoples, welcome to my Houston regional hero recap. We ended up going 6-3 at the regional, placing 34th. There was 346 people. Top 48 got invites, so I ended up 34th place. Got my invite to Nats. It was really good regional. We did have a couple of repairs. It ran kind of long. I think it started on time. Pretty well ran by game guys. Normal Konami stuff. No complaints about the regional, the seating, or anything like that. It just seemed pretty cool. Got to play on stream for my round 5 match, which was cool because I like the little. I had noticed that they had like a little sheet that says you can sign up for a feature match, and so as soon as I put mine on there, I got call for the next one, and it's probably because I was playing heroes, and I was undefeated up to that point. Yeah, we started off 5-0, and then it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of things didn't necessarily go necessarily bad from there. Well, yeah, they kind of did, I'll tell y'all, but yeah. So I played Omni Hero. Let's see, like my main going second cards, I decided to just go with 9 of them because in some ways I also count Fusion Destiny as a going second card because if you can like bait out some of their the spell and trap negates and stuff, then you can drop that Fusion Destiny, and with the help of Fusion Destiny, it's DPE plus plasma, so to me it kind of feels like another going second card. So yeah, we played 3 Droplet, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash was the only hand trap I paid because it was like pretty generic and stuff. But before the tournament started, I had been thinking it might be better to play Rivalry or such. But the only matchup I was really concerned about, like after building the deck and playing, and y'all saw my D-Force plays and stuff, I just decided to take the D-Force out because it didn't seem like very effective against every matchup. And so I just decided to lose to Rescue Ace. I was like, I'll probably lose to Rescue Ace, but I'm going to win against every other deck that I play against, unless it's some random stuff that I just have no idea what to do against it and everything. And so, that's pretty much how it happened. I just didn't really feel like there was enough that I could do to make my main deck, going second a better play against Rescue Ace. It's just a rough matchup, man. Like, and now they put up Baron and our SP Knight, and on top of the negates, on top of all the spell and trap cards they have, and it's just rough. So yeah. Recap round 1. I lost the dice roll. I played against Tearlaments. I impermed his normal summon Merly, I believe, because I believe it sins or meals or something like that, and I was just like, well, I probably won't get a lot of chances to imperm him, so let me just go ahead and imperm here. And it actually ended up being enough to stop his turn. We proceeded to summon Dark Law on him, and that was just game 2. The same thing pretty much happened. I impermed on his normal summon. I couldn't remember what it was this time, but yeah, we did that. And then going into my turn, he was able to fight a little bit harder this time. I played into I got nibbed for the first time during that game, and he had used, I believe, a Jito to bounce a monster back to my hand, and he was able to get it out on the board. So when he nibbed, it got sent to the graveyard, and he tried to mill for the card effect of Agito, and I did have the Ash because I opened up Ash Imperm, so I had the Ash to be able to stop the milling, and it just turned out perfectly fine. So yeah, we won that game. After that, I summoned out Dark Law. I just didn't really have any other plays. I believe my play was just like basically like summon Denier, flip Mass Change, and that was it after that. And Dark Law held it down until I was able to win the game. So that was my round 1. Round 2, I played against Pure Cash Tira twice in a row. Yeah, there can only be one in Shifter. So when I saw him playing, I lost a dice roll game 1, And saw him like summoning unicorn. I saw him summon unicorn. I was like, oh no, he's gonna have there can only be one. I feel like they just always open that card, but you know, it turned out being fine. I ended up winning game one. I want to say I can't remember. One of my ones went to game three, and in game three, you know, I believe that I went first and he was able to hand trap me, so he kept me from setting up like full complete board. But I did manage to get DPE out there, and I won't say like in those first two games I got nibbed 4 times, and I'm not sure what YouTuber told them to nib on Cross Crusader or something, but I thank you for telling people that, because every time I got nibbed there, maybe he told them some conditions under which they should nib us under Cross Crusader, but I hadn't used my Mally effect and I hadn't used my normal summon. So, you know, I basically just ferrets and like went into Cross Crusader, you know, after Vion and stuff plays and they nibbed me. And I was like, okay, well, let me just continue this, bring out another Cross Crusader, and it was perfectly fine. I was like, I can normal summon, still use my still use my Mally, and you know, it was perfectly fine with it. So thank you, shout out to the YouTuber who told them that. But you know, y'all other players, beware of that, because like if you have committed your normal summon at that point and you have, you know, used Mally effect, it can pretty much hurt you. But I feel like overall there is a better spot to nib us, which I won't reveal. But yeah, I feel like, you know, as far as nib, and then I do feel like there's a better spot to hit us with the Veiler and the Imperm and stuff like that. But you know, everybody has their own preferences. I feel like if I go against heroes, I have seen like where my opponents have hit me and where it hurts the most. So yeah, so one of the things I had planned on doing going into the tournament was like summoning Vion, using his effect to send, and you know, getting something that was discardable by Ferris, so that I played 3 mass change, so I wanted to mass change the Vion after sending Shadow Mist, chain mass change to get the Dark Law out there so that they can't draw me. But after the first couple of rounds and get nibbed so many times, I was like, okay, so people are maining nib and probably not droll. So I did not do that strategy anymore, because it did end up costing me a mass change one of the games and stuff. So going into round 3, playing against Kashtira, I went first. He managed to hand trap me so that I could only get DPE out. He prosperitied into impermanence, and I was able to stop his turn, you know, pretty much with an imperm. And he set 2 back row, and in my mind, I immediately thought, okay, one of these is gonna be there can only be one. I'd already used my DPE effect, you know, to keep him from using Kashtira monsters and stuff. So I couldn't DPE pop one of the back rows. So going into my turn, you know, I was just thinking the whole time, how do I not just lose to there can only be one right now? So I started off with Mally effect, banished to special summon, then I special summoned Denier from my grave, and I guess that's the point that he had been waiting for. He flipped up there can only be one. So yeah, I was like, okay, the other card is definitely Imperm. I chain DPE effect. He flips up the Imperm, but one of the MPV cards of the entire day was Forbidden Droplet. Remember to chain Droplet, get your monsters off the board, dodge Imperms, dodge Veilers, dodge on field affect things. And so, you know, I chained the Imperm, sent my DPE, targeted his I think it was Unicorn, one of the Kashtira monsters he had on the board. And since DPE is no longer on the field, it does resolve. I use DPE's effect, hit the Droplet, hit the there can only be one, and proceeded to win the match from there. So yeah, just do be aware of interactions and things like that. Be aware of Kashtira, there can only be one decks. Yeah, it's a rough day. So that was my round 3. My round 4, I played against man, I don't know what it was. Adventure Kashtira, Eldritch, Destiny Hero Pal. It was weird because he summoned Celestia on me and Eldritch, and I was just like, what is going on here? They're playing like Fusion Destiny, and like I've never seen this deck before, but it didn't seem all that great to me. I won that match pretty easily. I didn't have, you know, like I feel like I didn't have any problems winning that match, playing that match. So yeah. Game, and then round 5 was my feature match where I played against Makonko. I'm going to get that up on my channel in the next couple of days here. I know y'all want to see the deck profile, so that'll be tomorrow, and then probably after that I'll post that feature match. But I played against Mhero, and I was kind of worried about bricking on stream, but it didn't end up happening. I got Mhero, I feel like, is a pretty good matchup, especially if you go first. They have a lot of protection from targeting effects, and fortunately DPE and Shiny Neo's Wingman, they keep those, they don't target, so it's pretty easy to destroy a lot of their stuff. You just got to get it before it becomes can't be destroyed by card effects and such. But I guess like the main thing in that thing is like, I didn't realize that like even if they're not equipped with the equip card, they still can't be targeted by card effects, which is weird. Like they just need to have an equip card on the board, I guess, in certain circumstances. I don't know. Like the deck is kind of weird. It does weird things. But game one, we won. Pretty much Dark Claw, DPE, Shiny Neo's Wingman popping without targeting was what got it done. And then going into game two, he did go full combo on me. I didn't open up any hand traps. I think this was one of the few games I actually drew Fusion Destiny. Like, I feel like I drew like Fusion Destiny twice the entire day. I just never drew that card. Yeah, but I opened up 2 of them this game with Acid Golem on my board, so I couldn't special summon anything. What did he do? Oh, because they put that Ken or Jin on your side of the field, they can thrust you, tactics you. He sent back my Feather Duster and shuffled up the deck, put it on top, and I watched the match on stream. I gave him my deck to cut it, and when he cut it, he had left 1 card on the bottom, and he took that card and put it on top of my deck, and it ended up being the Feather Duster. So I ended up surviving the next turn because I was able to Feather Duster, all the equip cards, so he couldn't just like ram everything into it. Or actually, I was able to destroy a couple of them by battle, so he wouldn't, he didn't have access to them anymore and stuff. So yeah, that ended up being like, protagonist powers at work right there. After that, like I said, he did Acid Golem me, but, in case I had survived the next turn, I went ahead and summoned Vion, sent Shadow Mist. I used Shadow Mist to just add Ferris, because I was like, if I last another turn, at least I can tribute this Acid Golem for Ferris. And y'all have seen me tribute summon Ferris before. You do it, it works. You still get to put your increase into your spell and trap card zone. Just do what you got to do in order to win the matches. If you got something you need to get off the board and, it's not locking you out of tribute summon. Bring out your Ferris and just, go to town after that. So, yeah, I OTK'd him after that. And, yeah, it was 2-0 on stream against Mhero. And somebody says this is where I got the commentator's curse and stuff, but it is what it is. Like going into round 6, I played against the guy who went undefeated the entire regional. 9-0, and this guy's been on Rescue A since before Sinful Spoil stuff came out, so I know he's highly proficient with the deck. And yeah, just game 1, he won the dice roll, went full combo board thing. I don't think I had any hand traps. I opened up like Droplet, Double Mass Change, which I thought might give me a chance, but I didn't know they were ending on Baron now. So yeah, he had like Baron out there too, and did this, cool play by summoning, what was it, the Airlifter, and having SP Knight out there, and he was able to link those off into a Solde and a Solde into Ricardo or something like that. Yeah, Ricardo, and he was able to make Baron on me along with all his back rows and stuff back there. So it was just like dang near impossible to win when I tried to go second mass change on Stratos, because it was basically like I want to summon Stratos. Of course, he tries to hit it with one of the trap cards, chain mass change. Then he tries to hit it with the other trap card. I chain second mass change because I'm trying to get Blast out there to be able to bounce something, one of the back rows, because he had 5 of them back there. But of course, the Baron is able to negate the other mass change. So it wasn't Droplet that I opened up with. It was something else. It was like double mass change. I won't say it's double mass change, polymerization, and something else. But yeah, so that's how that went. So game 2, I was like, oh, okay, going against Rescue A is game 2. We can actually win this. No, it did not happen that way. The boy drew the absolute nuts. So I started off, my turn, Ferris, discard Mally. Then he goes, He goes, after I put increase out there, he's like, on resolution, Magnamut effect to search. All right, so I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I can get Mally back with Denier. So, I started doing increase stuff, summon Vion, send Denier, response. Chain Druid Worm, banish Denier. So now I have no Mally or no Denier, and he's got 2 Bestials out there on the board. But fortunately, my hand was pretty good. Because I started off with a Hero Lives and he imperned my Stratos. So I got hand trapped 3 times at this point right now, including 2 Bestials. But I hadn't did my normal summon yet. I was able to do my normal summon, still proceed, and somehow I managed to get Plasma out there on the board. I absorbed this Truest Worm, and I also had Favorite Contact, so I was able to set the Favorite Contact. So I was just like, okay, I should be good at this point, even if he does search, Druid's Worm during the end phase. There's nothing else he can banish, what is it, like, what's the card, increase or something like that. But at least I have my Plasma out there on the board. Draws for turn, immediately just flips over his draw, which was Feather Duster. So, Feather Duster away, my favorite contact, the Druid's Worm, which gets its effect because it was sent from the field to the graveyard, so he's able to send my Plasma with it. I used my favorite contact to bring out DPE, and when he did the Druid's Worm effect, I just decided just to let it go. I was like, I'm gonna leave one of these monsters out on the board, and of course I want to say he ended up sending the DPE, which I was fine with. I was just like, just let it happen, because I didn't want to chain it, because if I chain it, yeah, I get to destroy the Magnamut. But then he also gets to send the other one with the Druid's Worm, so I just decided just to let it go, let one of the monsters be on the board. He sent the DPE, so I left had Plasma out there, but he was able to just attack over it with the Magnamut and then proceed to summon Airlifter, and I was like, okay, yeah, you just got it. There's nothing else I can do against that. Yeah, and he had searched Druid's Worm with the Magnamut's effect and stuff, so yeah, I was just no winning that game. Yeah, but going into the tournament, I felt like Rescue Ace going first was like the only deck I felt like I wouldn't be able to beat, and so I had expected to lose to that, and just no other decks. So going into round 7, I was not discouraged at all. We played against that Adventure, Synchron, Destiny Hero. I don't think he was playing the Eldritch package like the other dude. I don't know. One of them was playing the Eldritch package. Whatever that pile of cards is that they've come up with and started playing. I played against that deck again. I ended up winning. I think we went to game 3. I think what was it? Just I want to say like game 3. He brought out. He had did some searching or something or whatever. He had Griffin out there on the board, and I was just trying to go ahead and just bait out the Griffin negate. So I drilled him, and he let it go, which I assumed that he just had no other plays, because he just set one back row and passed turn after that. So his end board was just like Griffin and whatever his back rows were. And I had the droplet for the Griffin, and just pretty much like after that, I was just able to win, just to push through and win the game. So yeah. Now, round 8, sitting at table 4, because I'm X1 at this point, we get deck checked, all right? And I end up getting a game loss for writing the name, for not completely, I guess like one of them, I didn't completely write out the entire name. And then the second one, I put the wrong last name on there. I think I put Extra Hero Inferno Rage instead of Extra Hero Inferno Devicer. So I ended up getting a game loss for that. And, it just kind of, I don't know, it was like a little bit discouraging, to get a game loss and stuff like that. Then, start playing my turn. I get imperned. I think this was only like the second hand that I wasn't able to play through hand traps. I want to say like the entire regional I bricked maybe twice. I think I bricked twice. That was it. And then there were a couple times where I drew hands where I wasn't able to play through hand traps. And yeah, because this was one of those games where I just wasn't able to play through hand traps. It ended up being against Vanquish Soul, so he had plenty of them along with Fenrir and stuff. So I'm now X2 at this point, going into the final round, and I was just like, all right, just need to win this one, get my invite. It is what it is. And I go first, win the dice roll. I got hand trapped 3 times, 2 effect veilers and imperm, I believe, and yeah, it was just too much. Could not play through that. Couldn't establish anything, and he was able to win that game pretty easily. Going into game two, my first ad, whenever we go into game 2 and 3, that first idea is always, play around Droll as best you can. So I summoned Stratos. I did open up with Polymerization, so I was able to summon Stratos, use his effect to grab Mally, and proceeded to get Droll. Definitely at that point, I got Drolled. I still managed to get out DPE out on the board, and I felt like, at least this might help me survive another turn. No, his turn, he starts off with Super Poly, my my Cross Crusader and my DPE together, and yeah, I just proceeded to lose that match. Draw Super Poly is kind of hard to play around, I guess you can't really say to play around is it's pretty hard to play around, like especially Droll and then Super Poly immediately after that, going at the start of my opponent's turn, and he proceeded to OTK me after that with the Garuda because it gets to attack directly and deals a bunch of damage, and yeah, so it is what it is. Unfortunate, I just say like the main thing is like the game loss thing. Like even though I was discouraged that match, like after the matchup was over with and stuff, still having like 30-40 minutes to sit down, I just sat by myself, recollected myself, and like I was like, pretty hopeful going into the final round of Swiss. Is just unfortunately, got hit by 3 hand traps. Some of these decks that are able to play 3 hand traps is just, I mean, not 3 hand traps, but able to play 12 hand traps. It's kind of hard to play through that if you don't draw Fusion Destiny. And like I said, I only drew Fusion Destiny like twice the entire day, so I might just end up cutting it from. I'm joking. I'm not gonna cut that. I might though, but we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah, but all in all, the regional was fun. I feel like I did the best I could. I played to the best of my ability. There are some regionals and stuff where I feel like I make play mistakes, cost myself matches and stuff like that. But I feel like every single match after I got done, I went back and looked at it and reevaluated and thought, was there anything I could have did differently? I didn't feel like I messed up at any point. I didn't feel like I made any play mistakes. I feel like every choice and decision that I made as far as what to summon, what to add, and what to, chain link and do everything that the interruptions, I decided to use them at whatever time and such. I feel like I made the best decision in every single one of them, and it was, the whole 2 weeks of practice and stuff that I had, very fortunate that inside of my area, they're like such great players and they all play together. I'm sure they all play test together, y'all know the Texas area, is stacked with so many good duelists. There, I think like 3 or 4 YCSs in a row. We had one person win one. We had another one, top 2 people, other top them and stuff. And yeah, it's just really cool because like when I actually like play a real serious hero deck, I feel like when I play in my locals, I get like real testing. I get to find out what I'm really going to be playing against at the regional. So felt like going into the regional, I was very prepared for it. And like I said, the only deck I expected to really lose to was Rescue Ace. And that's exactly how it happened. Every other deck I played against, I felt like, I'm about to beat them. So, that was the attitude I went into it with. Unfortunately, we lost, got that game lost against Vanquish Soul, and then, got drove Super Poly that other game. But, it is what it is. Some games you just aren't meant to win, and, but had a lot of fun. It was really cool. Shout out to all the cool people that I met out there, all the people that were, excited to see heroes up there at the top tables and such. Somebody told me there was another hero player at the top tables and stuff too, so if you do see this video, I would like to know who you are. You do it pretty good, it sounds like, to myself. Know if you made top 48 or whatever. But yeah, hit me up, let me know. Deck profile tomorrow. Shout out again to Blake. He's very insightful. I look at him like he's like the hero coach right there. That man has, I guess he plays and play tests, and he's always got great ideas, great insight to different matchups and stuff. Like, what cards are most effective and what are not, and, just all around great deals. So, if y'all have questions and such, like, that is the man to go to, like, hero coach of the year right there. But yeah, Appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next video.
My wingman, he come through, he level up, he go cool, he shining out and popping too over 9K. That's a breakthrough. We on top now. Here's a look at our world.